This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, where we help women remove the overwhelm of living their most holistic life. This is the place to find evidence-based nutrition tactics, healthy lifestyle and wellness tips, abundance mindset, and easily implementable low-tox living strategies so you can rise up to your full potential and protect your family's health. I'm your host, Stacey Heine, certified holistic nutritionist and better living advocate. Now, let's get empowered with some simple swaps that make a big impact for optimal wellness.
It's episode 64 of the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. Welcome back, and I hope that you are having the best day ever. Today, I have two lovely guests, my friends Genny Mac from the Eat School and Angela Yvonne from Vegan Pop Eats. And if you have not followed these women yet, you need to do so right now. They are amazing and they are inspiring their communities in big ways. And I just love following them and love being friends with both of them. We are talking about racial disparity today because this is a situation that is plaguing our country that we need to understand a little bit more about, specifically in the beauty world. And what we're really talking about today is in the food and the plant-based world. So we talk food deserts, we talk what in the world is that even, we talk about how it makes, underrepresented communities feel when there aren't healthy options for them to reach for, and more. So make sure that you listen to this episode and give it a thumbs up or a 5-star review and share it in your stories when you're listening to it, and make sure that you tag all of us. If you want to know more about each lovely woman, just pop into the show notes and visit them and make sure that you are following them. And before we get into the actual episode today, and before you listen to my mid-roll commercial, I want to make sure that you know that this month, in the month of March 2022, we are enrolling Beauty Counter Advocates at a really amazing deal. So basically, anybody that enrolls that gets a starter set that is $100 or more in value, they're going to get $153 worth of epic skincare to help them get their businesses going, to help them understand more about the brand, to help them experience more products. And they are 4 of our best-selling skincare products. So make sure that you do not miss out on this offer. Again, you're getting $153 worth of product for free when you enroll to make a bigger impact and to join forces on this mission of better beauty and helping other people live a more healthy and abundant life. All right, without further ado, here's Angela and Genny. Okay, I have a dual interview today on the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. So welcome to my dear friends, Genny and Angela. You guys.
Hi, Stacey.
Hi. I can't wait to talk to you guys. We are talking about racial disparity today in the plant-based food world and the vegan food movement and just racial disparity in general. Okay. And I love both of these women. I have found them both on Instagram and they have become my fast friends and they are two cool freaking beans. So let's ask first, Genny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Genny and I am a holistic nutritionist, fitness coach, and plant-based chef. My mission is to empower women and communities and families to adopt a plant-based lifestyle to take control of their health through cooking, nutrition, movement, mindfulness, all of that good stuff. And yes, I am so grateful to be here. So thank you, Stacey.
Heck yeah. Super happy to have you. And Yeah, we both got certified in the same holistic nutrition course from AFPA. And I think that's how you found me on Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
So good. That was like a year or two ago, I feel like.
Exactly how I found.
Yeah, I love it. So good. Okay.
Yep. And then that's how I met Angela, through you.
Yes. Oh my God. I love it. Okay. And you guys have like become like tight, and I love it. So, okay. And we're going to talk about, okay, Angela, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Angela Yvonne, and I am the creator of the brand Vegan Pop Eats, where it is a space that is changing the perception of plant-based / veganism / vegetarian life through conversations, cuisine, and conscious living. And I just want to show how dope it is over here on the green side, because being in this space has really changed my life. And my goal is just to help people understand that their health is their biggest currency, and also to let them know that you can live in abundance, you can have luxury without harming anyone.
And I love it how much you say and how often you say, like, come on over to the green side. I'm freaking obsessed with that like slogan. It's just like all the good things happen over on this side, I feel like.
Yes, it does.
I love that. Okay. So back to Genny, like, when did you start eating plant-based? When and why? Where did this all come from?
Yeah. So I started my plant-based / vegan transition back in 2017. It was a wake-up call for me. I was diagnosed with a chronic disease called lupus, which attacks all your major organs in my case. And it was life or death for me. So I started doing research. I started watching documentaries, and then I started seeing that, you know, coming over to the green side, as Angela would say, is the right thing to do, not just for a temporary fix, but for a sustainable lifestyle. So yeah, it started in 2017. I started transitioning, so it wasn't overnight. Started cutting out inflammatory foods, trying new foods, and fast forward to today, I am more healthy than I was many years ago. So I'm very grateful to be on this side.
Yeah. You're like busting it out with all of these crazy workout videos, and you're like our little firecracker. And it's really cool to have like to watch your before and afters and stuff like that. Like your whole life is transformed, and now you're helping people do the same. So that's like super inspiring. And okay, Angela, what happened with you? Like when did all of this start with you?
Well, my journey really started when my mother had gotten breast cancer, and it really hit home because it came back twice. And I became a vegetarian because, you know, McDonald's, Arby's, Burger King, all of them knew my name. Cookout, you know, I was in it to win it. You know, I was eating junk food and things of that nature. But then when she was diagnosed, I just knew that it had to deal with the food. So I, you know, instantly, you know, came off red meat. I never was a steak person, but I did do burgers. And I just started to, you know, in my mind, I was just like, well, you know, if I get her off of these certain things, it would, you know, keep the cancer at bay. But, you know, living in a small town, you know, you didn't see vegetarians or vegans, you know, living in the South, you know, they eat a lot of, you know, beef, pork, you know, chicken and things of that nature. So as time went on, I just slowly started to take things out of my diet. And unfortunately, you know, she ended up passing in, I think, 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014. And then, you know, I moved to New York 2 years later. And that's when, you know, I've been vegan going on about 5-6 years now. And that's when I really started to take it seriously. And so then, you know, I created Vegan Pop Eats. I was dabbling with it because, you know, when I cross over, you know, like when you first cross over to the green side, you're like, oh, I just want to tell everybody how, you know, how I'm just eating fresh fruits and all of y'all are haters and, you know, just different things like that. But yeah, Vegan Pop Eats just was something that combined everything that I love doing. I love pop culture. I'm fluent in that. And so, my background is, being in the media, red carpets, interviews and stuff like that. So, yeah,
I love
that's
it.
what happened.
Got it. Hey, there's always a story. Okay. So speaking of living in the South, tell me a little bit more about that. Were you in a food desert? What did that look like?
I wasn't a food desert. Now, I think when people say a food desert, meaning that there were no opportunities to have fresh foods. But I lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It was a military town. That's where I went to college at. And basically all around me was like Red Lobster, McDonald's, Burger King, like all the fast food type situations. There wasn't, and of course there were restaurants there, and of course we had grocery stores there, like Costco. We had the basic grocery stores. We had Walmart, which was a super Walmart. We had a super Target, but I didn't have the education because the people around me weren't doing those things. Because in a small town, I don't know if either one of you have ever lived in a small town, the basic things that we did was hang out, go to Walmart, eat, and date. That was it. It wasn't an environment where you would see people who were like thriving in like the health industry, or it wasn't a situation where like living in New York or living in LA or living in Miami or even living in I guess Colorado or something like that, where you see people who are really like about their health and really about, getting fresh foods and farming and things of that nature. It was around, but it wasn't a focus, and it wasn't of convenience because the people and the environment that I was in, there was no one around me that really was just like, oh, did you ever think that you might start your breakfast off with eating fruits or smoothies and things like that? No. The environment that I was in was like, oh, eggs, bacon, Waffle House, eggs, bacon, pancakes, just really carb-filled foods, real fatty foods, real, things that tasted good but wasn't really good for you. So it wasn't until, like I said, when my mom got breast cancer, I started like looking through books and, seeing things like, I don't know what the name of the documentary was, but the guy who he had it like several, the juicing one, the one where everyone was talking about, how he cured himself.
Yeah, fat, sick, and nearly dead, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I was looking at things like that, it was just like, oh, this is possible. This is, things that I sort of self-taught myself. And then it was just like, when I got to New York, it was more so like, okay, the women, every time you turn around, they're all in workout gear. They're all going to, a gym. They're going to a class. They're going to, they're eating well, they're looking great and things of that nature. So it sort of, inspired me to really, really take, what I was putting in my mouth seriously, because, food is medicinal. And either way, it could be bad medicine for you, or it could be good medicine for you. And I just, had decided to take seriously about the things that I was putting in my mouth. And that's where I'm at now. And I'm still learning, because there's just so many things that, people don't talk about as far as dealing with food. And each time that I talk to experts in the space like you and Genny and, other people, it opens up another environment that I've never, that I wasn't part of. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really all about the education, and it's also about the convenience of certain things.
Okay, and so let's talk a little bit about racial disparity in the vegan food movement, because I know that both of you guys are passionate about bringing that to light. So Genny,
let's talk about you and like your clients. Have you had any, like, because it's shown that there's like more food deserts and, you know, there's like less opportunity for healthful options in areas of Black communities. And this is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, Columbus Batiste, the doctor talks about it, and Brooklyn Borough president, Eric Adams, you know, like he talks about this, like, have you come across this with your clients and like just in your life in general? And I know that's kind of like a loaded question, but have you come across this? Like, and what are you doing to help mend this?
Yes. So I will say yes. And also there is a terminology that I want to talk about more. So the concept of food desert, right? I say it's more than just not having access to fresh fruits and vegetables. It's also putting too many junk places in our neighborhoods, right? Yeah. So all of the fast food places. So we talk about the word convenience. The convenience of food is there. We have fried chicken places. We have Popeyes, McDonald's, Burger King. You name it, fast food is abundant in these neighborhoods, right? So that part of convenience, the food is convenient, the bad food is conveniently there. So that's the struggle that I hear with my clients, is that good food isn't that accessible for them. So they have to walk an extra street or two or go an extra mile to actually get quality food. So that's the hardest part of this transition, is convenience. What is good for them is not nearby.
Yeah. Okay. And what can we do in particular to heal this situation with the food discrimination issue? I mean, like, I know that you and I watched, and I'm sure, Ange, did you watch, you know, They're Trying to Kill Us, like that documentary? Like, can we talk a little bit about that? Or like, can you guys just share how this makes you feel and like what you think that we can all do as a collective to make the situation better? And yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, for me, I know exactly what it is. Okay. It's the fact food disparity goes back to racism. And the only way that we're going to be able to cure food I always say it wrong. It's all good.
Disparity. It's kind of hard.
Disparity. I always say it wrong. Food disparity is, we need to clear up racism. Yeah. Because with food disparity, you know what I'm saying. with that going on, it's more so saying that if we aren't a certain color, that we don't matter. And it's also a way to keep the numbers down, almost like a purge. Because I noticed, like, I'll say, for instance, I live in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, when you come to Brooklyn, it's very suburbia, it's very this, but it's also, you can go down one street and you'll see, you know, despair. And then you can go down 2 blocks and you'll see, you know, excitement, or whatever the case may be. But I think I know, and the only way that we'll be able to clear that up is whenever we decide that we no longer want to deal with racism, and when we decide that all people actually matter. Yep. Because when I live in Brooklyn, and we had this bodega, I guess you would call it a bodega, or like a little shop where you could go in and pick up knickknacks. And when I first moved into the neighborhood, it was just a regular, you know, little shop. You can go in there. Now it's like a miniature Whole Foods, because they're building up. Yeah. Now, because they're building up the neighborhood, and it's near Prospect Park, which means that, you know, the park is gorgeous. Like, they hold like major concerts, like it's everything. To live by Prospect Park is everything. But until they felt like that particular neighborhood was worth being invested in, that's when the turnaround is, because it went from now to today. I can get salads there now. I can get smoothies there now. I can get juices there fresh. But before it wasn't that way. I can get, gluten-free pastas. I can get, faux vegan meats if that's what I'm going to do. I can get all of my milks there and just different things like that. So I think whenever we decide, whenever the powers that be decide that we are as worthy to have helpful lives, that's when it'll all clear up. And until the powers that be decide that that's what they're wanting to do, it's always going to be some kind of food disparity.
Hey, before we get too far into today's episode, I want to be sure that you remember that you can become an advocate for Beautycounter right alongside me and my team, Team Rise, which is a collective group of women who are pulled together, whether we're moms, working mamas, homeschooling mamas, single mamas, whatever it is, you are invited. And we are a collective raising our voices and helping people switch to safer skincare and cosmetics. You can do this with us. I want to give you a little bit of the details, what it looks like to be an advocate for Beautycounter. So again, if you're a member, it's only $21 to enroll. But if you're not, you can enroll for $50. And if you get a starter set this month, you'll get a free $153 worth of skincare package when you do this. But what being an advocate really does is brings you to the other side of this business, not just as a consumer shifting the market, but as somebody who is helping others shift the market to a safer place and protect their health with safer options. You get paid 25 to 35% commission for anything that you share and sell. And then if anybody decides to join you and join us along this mission and this movement, you're going to get anywhere from 5 to 9% on anyone that joins your team. So that's a really lucrative opportunity, and you can take it and run with it, or you can just have a casual business. It's really truly what you want. In addition to that, you get a 25% discount on everything that you buy, or even up to 100% depending on if you have a pop-up open, which we could talk through more. You also get exclusive pre-sale perks and a community to join that really is band together to just help each other out and to form a community and a sisterhood. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. I want to be sure that you don't miss out on it, especially during this month of March, because we have this awesome enrollment offer going on, and you're not going to want to miss out on the free skincare package that comes with your starter set purchase. Just click the link down in my bio. If you have any questions about joining, there's a Calendly link, and you can absolutely have a conversation with me or just DM me on Instagram. And if you're ready to sign up and go all in and do this, hit that join button down in the show notes. I can't wait for you to change the beauty industry with us. All right, back to the show. Okay, so Genny, what is your take on this? Like, what can we do? Where can we start? What are you seeing?
Where do we start?
I know.
There are so many avenues. There's so much complexity. I'll just talk about what's something that's been on my heart recently about the disparities in women's health, right?
Okay.
A lot of Black women, just from personal experience, talking to my friends, they're suffering from hormonal imbalances. And that's deeply rooted in racial disparities around this whole birth control movement. The products that we put in and on our skin, the products in the environment, what are we using to eat and drink every day? So there's just the magnitude is huge of issues. And where do we start? We have to start somewhere. So having this conversation is where we start, right? I also think it goes back to relatability. So you can't be who you can't see. There aren't enough Black African-American nutritionists and healthcare providers out there, right? Especially pushing for the plant-based and the vegan movement. But there is a saving grace because there is Black people are the biggest movement to adopt a vegan lifestyle, right? I think we're at 8% and the general population is at 3%. So we are waking up, right? Our eyes are open.
That's awesome. Right? I did not know that.
We are the fastest population to adopt a vegan lifestyle. So it's happening.
Good.
It's happening, but we have to continue to have the conversation. It starts in the schools. It starts with children. So Eric Adams employing the Friday vegans is a start. It starts at home, because when the kids come home from school, they still have to eat what's at home in their refrigerators, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it starts with the education of the individuals preparing the meals, right? So that is my target audience. I look to empower women that are, in charge of putting food on the table, right? Whether they're healthcare professionals as well, whether they're doctors, they're teachers, but they have the power, right, to make a change. So we have to start somewhere, and I'm excited about this movement, because I also know that, when we come together in numbers as a community, we are unstoppable. So, yes.
I love it. I love it. And do you have anything that you want to add on to that about, and I will just say, Genny, like women of color and the personal care product industry, I definitely know about because of Beauty Counter, of course, but the amount of chemicals that are put in products for women of color is exponentially higher than the rest. And that's absolutely ridiculous and something that people need to know. And it's happening in our food system. It's happening in so many places. And the first thing that we can do is bring awareness to this so that we can all keep saying something about it and raise awareness. Right. And it makes me really, really mad. And I can only imagine how you guys feel, extra mad, right? 5 times more mad. It makes me really mad. So Angela, do you have anything that you pulled away from what Genny said that you want to, we have a really short window of time, guys, because we're all so busy. We're all entrepreneurs over here. I got my society to get into. Genny's got clients. Angela's got people to touch, and we've got to do this. So what do you guys want to say in terms of closing this out and really just making the biggest impact that we can to stop the disparity, doing what we can? What can we do today?
I think that one of the things that we can do is to learn a little bit more about our history. I think that's where a lot of the things stems from. I think that we should also hold ourselves accountable, because a lot of times we do things because it's a learned behavior, and that we also have to really be sincere in wanting accountability in trying to make a change.
Amen. Okay. Any closing remarks before we get going?
Yeah, I would say in closing that, to Angela's point, the inability to be healthy is deeply rooted in systemic racism, social injustices, and generational trauma. So again, there's a lot of work and unlearning that needs to be done, but we all have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere, and we have to start today, not tomorrow, not next week. It has to start now. And just know that, there are individuals out there just like us, and there's communities out there that will provide you with that accountability and that support. But it starts today. And we're also the faces of tomorrow. So if we change the trajectory today, we'll change 7 generations, God willing, knock on wood, for tomorrow, right? So starts today. Today, start small.
And I keep saying that I want to close this out, but I have one more question for both of you. I'm a mom. You guys aren't yet. You're going to be teaching your kiddos specific things. What can I do as a mom to help bring awareness to racism and raising a new generation and changing the future?
I think for me, and because I think that the truth should be taught on the level of understanding, and not to shield him because of what you may think, because today's kids are smarter than, they're doing tablets, they're doing, you know, they're in the technology world, and they're not as they're only sensitive because they've been shielded.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Because the way that we grew up, you know, we were allowed to experience certain things versus, you know, the kids today. Like the kids today are just, you know, you look at them and then all of a sudden it's depression. And I feel like sometimes the situation is told that that's what they should be or that they should feel, when in actuality, you know, it's important for you to grow up and have certain experiences in order for you to be a decent human being.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with racism for, you know, your child or, you know, whoever child you may come across, I feel that you should definitely teach them to their understanding and to not necessarily make it seem like a bad thing, because, you know, everyone is up in arms now because nobody wants, you know, people to teach real history. They want it to be more so like, okay, you know, that happened. You guys are okay now. So let's just talk about, you know, how we built things together. That's not how you become a decent human being. You have to take the good, the bad, and the ugly in order to be able to have compassion, in order for you to have understanding, in order for you to be open-minded to certain things. Because I was raised military, and I'm grateful for that, because, you know, I was born in Guam. I lived half my life in Germany, you know, and I've traveled. So I look at things at a different perspective than someone who has never had the opportunity to live with different ethnic groups and things of that nature. But at the same time, I'm still very aware of what history is, and I'm still very aware of what history is repeating itself now. And the only way that we are going to be able to get to a common ground is for everyone to really take, you know, I guess, accountability, as in to reason why certain things are happening, and to see if they genuinely want to, you know, rectify the situation. So with you having that beautiful boy, your son is so beautiful. I just wanted to tell you that your son is so beautiful. And, you know, from what I see on Instagram, you are a very open-minded person. You're very, you know, you're very witty. You have a great comedic style and things of that nature. And I think that, you know, they have children's books that talk about, you know, like during Black History would have been a perfect time where you could just, you know, show him certain things on, you know, what Black people invented, why, because of their invention, you have the convenience of turning on a light, or, you know, the stop sign and different things like that. That's how you get your son to be okay. Because believe it or not, in this day and time, there are, you know, white people who don't even have Black friends.
Yeah.
There are white people who have never, you know, even talked to Black people, you know, in 2022
conversation.
but I'm saying that with just because of the type of person that you are, I know that you are raising your son in an environment where he is compassionate. I mean, you guys farm, you teach him about, you know, animals and things of that nature. So the same way that you teach him about living good and eating good, it's also important that you teach him about, you know, the real history of America. So whenever he comes across certain things in his life, he won't be sheltered from it, and he won't, you know, react to certain things because he's too sensitive, because, you know, you took the route of, you know, oh, not my baby, he can never. No, because I meet mothers who are afraid to let their kids fall down on the floor, you know, or even break a bone. And I'm just like, I've been hit by a car. I've been in a body cast, you know, I've burnt both palms of my hands. I've had a knife go through my foot. I'm running around climbing trees and things of this nature. And I think, you know, the shielding of him would do more damage than it would where you show him on each, you know, level of maturity where he can understand. I think that would be most helpful. And I think that would be you doing your part in this, you know, this space.
I love it. Thank you so much. I will. Yeah. Just like we're teaching about animal injustice, we're teaching about human injustice as well. Right. So we need to bring light to all of it. Okay. You guys,
they have really good books.
Yeah, I know. I need all the references and we have some, but I need more. So, you guys, I love you both. And thank you so much for being on. I'll have you guys both on individually. We will see each other soon.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Stacey. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, sweet friends. All right. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
I'm over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of The Urban Pharmacy. For today's show notes, head on over to theurbanpharmacy.com and be sure to join us inside our private Facebook group called The Urban Pharmacy, where we share inspiration, live trainings, and holistic living tips to help you build community and the healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Before we connect again on the next show, follow me on Instagram at The Urban Pharmacy. That's urban with an H and pharmacy with an F. And I can't wait to hear your wellness journey as we get to know each other better. You know, there's truly no better time than now to level up your life, and I am so proud of you for showing up today. Until next time, be well, Health Crusader.